Okay,
we
that's
cannot do
something that I want to hear, like, since we're just starting in the corporate life, right? So we don't know if we're just blindly going into this, or do we have to explore like other industries in the company, or do we jump companies? Like, what's the time frame between jumping companies?
Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to be conversing with Manoj Madassery, who is a all India leader at Koch Business Solutions, which is essentially a startup in India. It is a global company which set up shop in the year 2018 in India, and Manoj has been a part of it ever since. Throughout the course of his journey, Manoj has seen various fields. He started his career with mechanical engineering and then pursued his passion for finance with a master's degree, and went on to become a transformation leader at Koch Business Solutions. Now, Manoj has a lot to contribute in the form of advice to our younger generation, and has a lot of career advice which I think we can all benefit from. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'll also be leaving timestamps down below so that it's easier for you guys to maneuver through the video. And without any further ado, let's directly move to what Manoj has to say.
So my name is Manoj. I am responsible for running shared services for one of the largest privately held companies, a US multinational, Koch Business Solutions in India. Been doing this for the last 5 years, setting it up from scratch to kind of getting to a stage. We have today about 2,500 plus people.
Okay, and so could you please tell us more about your corporate journey? So how did you begin and where did you start?
Interesting, yeah. So it all started very, very long ago. Maybe you were not even born at the time, maybe, probably. Not probably, I'm sure you were not born by the time I started this. So I started my career as an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. And I started my career as an industrial engineer and as a shop floor engineer in the beginning, manufacturing engineer. Did that for some time and wanted to do something different. Wanted to try it out. So that's the time when we wanted to kind of talk about finance, MBA in finance. So I went ahead and did a master's in finance from Narsimhanji Institute of Management Studies in Mumbai. Post that, I worked in a finance function for I think close to 5 years plus. Then got confused, right, in terms of what I should be doing, because maybe I was not as good as a chartered accountant or as good as a cost accountant, but wanted to do something different, and I got an opportunity to come to Bangalore, work with IBM. In IBM, I started my career to set up a small shared services within IBM. When I say shared services, it's where you bring a lot of work from different geographies, bring it under one roof, right, which is in Bangalore, right? So we started with that. Did that again for close to about 5 years, and then want to do a similar stuff for some of the external, not just for IBM, but want to do for other external customers of clients of IBM. So started managing some of the client accounts like Singapore Airlines, Home Depot, some of these client accounts. I started doing similar stuff for them. And then spent almost 13 years in IBM doing various things, playing with technology, playing with some of the client accounts. And when I got an opportunity to kind of start this shared services for Koch, I grabbed that opportunity and jumped into that, and then started leading the center here, the GCC here, and that's where I am today. So been doing that.
Sure, so that's actually wonderful to hear. Now, I want to know, so you had a mechanical engineering role before, and then you moved to finance, and then now you're in shared services. So your journey has seen a lot of trajectory and different paths. Now, normally it's something we don't see, especially with engineers. They usually, we have got advice saying that, okay, specialization is something everyone should be focusing on, and I believe from your experience, what we've seen and your story, it seems that that is not the case, and you've still achieved tremendous amount of success. So it's a different angle. So we definitely want to hear more about that, because you went from mechanical to finance and still excelled in whatever you're doing. So it sounds like a very interesting idea for us to learn from. So please, could you comment on that more?
Again, for me, I'll come to the success part of it a little later.
Okay.
The definition of success is maybe something different the way I think about. For me, okay, let me explain that. For me, the success is all about how happy you feel, right? If I look at any other parameters for my success, I'll be always comparing myself with others, right? So If I compare with Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg, I'm not at all successful, right? I'm a zero, right? But that's not how we should be looking at success. Success is for me is all about, whether it wakes me up in the morning, helps me to do what I want to do, and get to what I really want to do in my life. That's what I call success as. So, for me the key thing was all about what you're passionate about, right? Again, that's what I was talking about. Being happy. Being happy is when you are able to do something that you're really, really passionate about. I believe all of us would be successful, right? Sure. So the key for me was to identify what is the passion. Of course, I struggled to identify. My passion changed over a period of time. When I started my career, as you said, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, handling, I just wanted to walk up with spanners, screwdrivers, do the nut bolts and those kind of stuff. Typical mechanical engineering job that people would do. And I've done that. I've climbed boilers to fix the boilers and those kind of stuff. Okay. I used to get thrilled out of those kind of stuff that I used to do. Post that, after some time it changes, right? Yeah. Based on your learning, based on your situation evolves and you try to learn more and more stuff. Your passion also sometimes changes. Then there was a time I was very passionate about finance, wanted to kind of do that, did that for a long time. Then I was thinking about how do I apply both what I learned, engineering as well as my finance skills and as well as my business skills. How do I apply this at work? That's how I kind of thought about it. And then over a period of time, I've realized that, for example, what I realized, I love transformation. I love coaching people, talking to people, coaching people, youngsters like you. That's what I used to do. I still do in my, my work today. I talk to a lot of youngsters who come out of, and then talk about some of the things that I'm maybe sharing with all of you. So that's my passion. I realize that that's what I'm very close to today. Maybe things will evolve in the next 5 years, right? Maybe even the market will evolve, situation will evolve. I think you should be free, right? I would say like a kite to kind of, take you to the places where you want to. But as long as you keep going up, it's good. Keep floating, it's good. You should not just fall, that's all.
Okay. So now, how did you come to realize that finance was something you want to do? Is it something about investments, or was it something about the numbers? So what exactly did you feel that this is why I want to do finance?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and maybe I'll go back to a little bit about my engineering also, right? So. As you know, we are all Gen X. I am a Generation X. Do you know the generation?
Yes.
So X, Y, Z. Yes. Millennials,
Gen Z,
baby boomers, and then we call it as Gen Alpha. The new ones, maybe you're all Gen Alpha, right? So for Gen X, people like me, maybe for my dad, for example, he worked in just one organization in his entire life. For him, the priority was to get salary every month. Give a good life to his family. That was priority number one, right? And at that age, everyone used to kind of just, I'm sure, if you ask your grandpa, you'll see that they just worked in one organization, just focused about creating a good life for the family.
It was about the stability aspect.
Stability aspect of it, right? And then came my generation, where we actually experimented a little bit with that also, wherein we didn't stay back in one organization, we changed jobs. We took loans to build house, we took loans to buy cars, and we also explored a little bit around the social life, and then traveling a little bit and going around seeing places. That's our generation. And I'm sure this generation, like people like you, you'll never think about a loan in your life to buy a house. Why would I buy a house by taking a loan? Why should I buy a car by taking a loan, right? So the whole concept of the way to look at these kind of things have changed or evolved over a period of time. So when I look back, why did I do engineering? Right? One of my biggest worry today, and I'll relate to that again. Sorry for digressing a little bit, but how many of you have done your graduation, for example, the graduation part of it, because you wanted to do something? Some of the studies says that 82% of the kids coming out today, out of the colleges, sorry to call all of kids, but the youngsters who are coming out today have got into something because they want to get a job. Right? They want to get out. But there are a good amount of 18 to 20% now still trying to do something which they are passionate about, right? And that is changing, that's increasing, that number is increasing day by day, right? People really passionate about, so for example, I can give you my daughter, she's studying for law, right? Now, she wanted to do law, for sure, and she's just pursuing, there's no lawyer in my family, so there is nothing like, anyone forcing her or any background. In my case, for example, I did engineering, maybe because I was of course passionate about engineering. I was also thinking maybe that time there were only two professions that we had, either medical or engineering, right? And we have very limited options. And maybe when I look back, I'm also thinking maybe we knew, or I knew that that's a profession that will take me to a better life. Maybe I want to do that. Then my passion got aligned to what I want to do, maybe a better life for me, then mechanical engineering or engineering became a passion for me. Because I knew that that's how I can make a good life for myself, for my family, better than, what my dad did, right? So that's how it started. So sometimes passion gets created because of something that you really want to do in life, right? So those are triggers. So like as I said, engineering was a trigger and I did that. I did first few years, as I said, spanners, mechanical engineering stuff that we did. And then, again, there's an advice to all of you is keep your network always on, right? Connecting with people, keep connecting with people. And this is something that I've learned, right? There are 3 different connects that you all should have, right? One, and spend equal time with all of them, right? 33% of your time, you should spend with someone who is better than you. When I say better than you, not in just financially, academically or anything, anyone with a different point of view. Even your colleagues, when your classmates, college mates, all are good, but if, let's say, somebody is running a business, they have a completely different point of view. So 33% of your time, you should spend with people like that. 33% of your time, you should spend with people, your friends, colleagues who are the same, right? And 33% of the time you spend with youngsters. People younger than you who are learning, who are trying to get to do things, because that'll keep you learning a lot of, updated about what's happening in the industry, what's happening. So if you spend that time, I'm sure you will get your network very, very strong, which will help you to think about what else you should be doing, right? So luckily, as I said, after my engineering and after doing a lot of things, I started connecting with a lot of people, network, and then it really helped me to have a point of view around. I was in Mumbai, so I met a lot of the stock trading guys, business guys, and a lot of these people. That really helped me to understand how they think and the importance of understanding finance. Okay. That's kind of triggered, I need to learn finance, right? So I need to understand finance. How do I do this? That's how I started my shift to finance. Then as I said again, after that changed. Shared services, as I told you, right? Maybe I thought I could apply both. My engineering gives you logical skills, and then my finance skills I could apply somewhere. Both I could apply. That's why I moved into IBM to get into that, which really helped me to be successful there. When I say successful, it's all about I felt like doing what it is. I still cherish those few years that that I spent there. So, and then maybe, as I said, today I'm thinking about coaching, helping people. That also really helps me. I love it. So I do more of that. So.
Okay. Yeah. So.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Just on a more personal level, I don't think most people understood the importance of finance. Like throughout the years now, right now it's really booming, right? Finance, investment, opportunities, and all of that, right, related to finance. So I feel like if when I started college or like in BU, if I knew that finance was gonna play such a crucial role in like my corporate life, I would have probably stressed more on it. So I feel like maybe we should like give more importance, right, to that topic. So since you really jumped from mechanical engineering to finance, you probably would have felt it somewhere, like the importance of this in our lives, right?
Yeah.
So like how?
So finance is always important, whether we do this role or not. Even if you're not doing a finance role, it plays a big part in everyone's life. Honestly, I would say that's more. The way I think of finance, more common sense. Right? There's a lot of common sense. Finance common sense, the way I call it as. The simple thing is about, for example, if you have to make an investment, if you have to start, when you start earning, how do you invest your money? How do you invest your salary into something meaningful, something more productive which will help you. That's all financial knowledge, right? Simple. If I can just really quickly explain this, today people, let's say, put money in fixed deposit. Is it good or bad?
I'd say personally it's bad. It's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea because it never meets even the inflation.
True,
right?
exactly.
Post-tax returns won't even get you. That means you are actually burning your money. Let's say you put 1 lakh rupees in the bank on a fixed deposit for 5 years. You're losing money every year.
True.
That's what I said. It's a very simple common sense, finance common sense that we all need to have. So I would rather say, more than great import, every one of us should have that financial prudence knowledge. We should all spend some time. That will make all of us successful in our personal life, where you'll be able to, and I'm sure as you grow as leaders, as big leaders tomorrow, when you do get into those kind of roles, all of this knowledge will come handy for all of you, right? So it really helps you to become more successful in taking decisions.
Sure.
So, and even in personal life, you've got a lot of decisions to make, right? Even simple thing, right? Do you want to drive a car, you want to ride a bike, or you want to take an auto, or you want to take a cab? Or these are all actually financial prudence, decisions that you make based on your current situation. So
true.
It plays a big part, and we all should spend some time learning that. And I think today there are n number of opportunities that you can leverage.
Especially now with the whole financial awareness being spread wide and this, as you said, FDs not being able to beat inflation. So the new generation is actually loving the whole aspect of, being very good portfolio investors, managing their small portfolios, whatever they have, with whatever the money they have, and then they're probably looking into better returns in terms of investments, and rather than spending their money on buying a phone, let's say, they'd rather invest that money in let's say a stock or probably a crypto. So I want to know, what kind of portfolio do you maintain? So do you maintain one?
So interestingly, I don't know whether, I will not say whether you should do it or not, but what I've done is I got a beautiful Excel file which talks about till 99 years of age, how much money that I need, whether the current one that I have is good enough for me to survive till 99 or not. Right? It's not for you to be greedy, but it's just to know that are you progressing, or do you have a gap? If you have a gap, what else you can do to fix that gap? Right? Just for more self-awareness that you want to do. So I have a portfolio of almost every possible investments, like stocks, PMS, or whatever that you want to call it as, mutual funds and
cryptos also.
No, I haven't. No, I'm little risk averse, so I haven't done cryptos. But I think I can take a lot of risk on the stock market also, right? So I've done all of those things. Learned a lot, burnt my fingers several times, and then learned a lot in the process.
So I agree with you when you say that we need to sort of live like a planned life, especially, and now with the generation growing, now the Excel sheet which you mentioned. So recently I also came across this Excel sheet concept which I was going through, and then you enter a certain amount of money for a certain period of time, and then you keep increasing it and at a rate of 5% to beat the inflation gap, which is again around 5% yearly. And then you accumulate, so you put in like an age, let's say 65 years, so you reach around this much of a net worth, and the amount of money you have to increase every year on the investment as a fixed sum. So it capitalizes and it keeps accumulating on each other. So that's actually wonderful as a concept, and I don't see a lot of people from Gen X, as you said, talk about this a lot. So I'd say, let's say my parents, or I'd say, I don't know about lately. So we could agree that a lot of people have not yet been aware of that as well. They have not been exposed to that whole idea of planning their finances. They would rather save money and buy a house and pay loan for the entirety of their life, but they will not plan it in a way where it actually makes returns for them. So it's more like they are paying off a debt which will be useful for their children, but it's not an asset for them. It's not an asset. They've not created an asset. They created a liability which they will pay off, and that would be transferred to the children. That is what they've done. So that is a great thing, and that is why I think when you mentioned that the new generation is probably not looking into investments like homes, it's probably because we have started gaining more awareness of those things.
And it is like, for example, let's say you're going from here to Mysore, for example, right? Now, when you start, you put a map on, you'll know what time you'll reach. So it takes, let's say, 3 hours to reach. Yeah, so 4 o'clock I'm going to start, I'll reach by 7. Then you are going to stop for a coffee, then you know that you're going to lose that 10 minutes time. You plan and you reach somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to do, you can do that for reaching to a place like Mysore. Such a simple thing. Why don't you do it for your life, right? So just put a milestone for your life, and then say by 25 I want to go and let's say go and see a place. Right. Put that in your milestone. Work towards that. Then say next milestone, right? Maybe I want to do a post graduation or an MBA from maybe a foreign university. I don't know what that you have, right? What do you think about so?
Okay, then that's amazing. So in that case, then what's your plan for the next? So you said, from what I understand, you put a plan there and then you reach it and then you move on to the next. So in that case, do you have a plan in mind which you would be focusing or working towards now?
So as I said, financially I have a plan till 99. As I said, if I'm still alive, we'll see. After 99, if I'm still alive, then I'll see what needs to be done. But I definitely have a plan from a financial standpoint. We have made all the, at least I've done that. But from my career standpoint, right? It's all about, again, my plan is very, 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 very simple. Be happy. That's all. So today, with the background that I have, with the financial planning that I've done, I'm much more confident that I can be, happy with all I need to do is do something that makes me happy every day, right? Sure. As long as I'm getting to do that, then that's my plan. Nothing else. Very, very simple plan. Right? So
that's amazing. I think a lot of people stress out about what is it that they want to do in their career, and because of that stress, they end up making bad choices. Yes. And choices they're not happy with, and they probably succumb to pressure, and then they get into a role which they're not ready for. Right. So that's something we are seeing a lot as well. Now I have another question. Now, from what I understand, that Koch Business Solutions was a startup in India, but it was already a established company. It started in India recently. And now we get to hear this opinion out there. There are varied opinions about startups and stuff. So if I understand correctly, your role was similar to a startup role when it came into Koch Business Solution. So would you say startup environment is better or worse than compared to the regular traditional corporates which have been dominating the industry for a while now? So how do you feel about that role differences?
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's say, that's what you're a singer. For example, you're a singer, so that's your passion. Singing is your passion.
Okay.
Now the next question that you should think about is, what is your capability in that passion? Are you in the top 10%, top 20% of singers in Bangalore? Forget about the world, right? Yeah. Are you the best singer, 10%, 20% singer in this Bangalore city, for example? Right? That's your second one. The third thing is about, do you have a demand for this capability that you're talking about? So think this has 3 circles, right? The Venn diagram, cycles. Where all the 3 meets is where you should be, right? Where you have a passion for something, you have a capability in that, being the top 10 to 20%, and you have a demand for that. So let's assume that you've got a great passion for singing. You are in the top 10%, in that, but you are in a very small village, for example. How much opportunities you will get to be successful as a singer? Max once or twice a year you get an opportunity to sing in a public platform. Beyond that you will not, right? Today technology is different. You could get YouTube and this kind of stuff, but I'm just thinking about being more and more successful, like some of the opportunities that you get. So think about that, where being passionate about it. So I'll give you another example. I can be passionate about rugby, for example. True. I could be a good rugby player. But do you have an opportunity here in India?
No.
In Bangalore? No. And I don't want to move out of Bangalore, I don't want to move out of India. Will I be successful?
Sure.
So, that's what we should think about, right? So whether it is a startup, it's an established corporate, and any other organization that you want, think about these 3 things. Okay. Are you really passionate about what you want to do? The role that you are getting into, is it helping you to fulfill your passion? Second is, do you have the capability in that? Or at least you know that you can build the capability in the next few days and months and years, right? And then the third thing, is there a demand for that role? All the 3 matches, I think you are in the right place, whether it is a startup, whether it is a established corporate also.
Also, I want to understand a little more about how your work experience has been. You have worked for both for a pretty good time now. And would you say you've enjoyed, apart from passion, the work environment in a startup or let's say a corporation?
I'll go back to the same answer that I gave. Even with corporate, for example, when I was working in IBM, there was a time that I felt that I'm not creating a lot of value for myself and for the organization, right? So maybe organization is okay because I was working and I want to do something different. So as I said, when I started my career in IBM, I started setting up a shared services within IBM. Then I realized that after almost 5 years, this is very routine. It's already set up. There is nothing much for me to do. Then I wanted to experiment with something different. So in fact, in my career, in the last almost 30 years of my career, I see that I've changed roles every 2-3 years. That's a good advice that I would give all of you youngsters. It would be change your roles. When I say change, I don't mean to change companies, right? That's not what I'm advising for. My recommendation would be change your roles every 2-3 years. 2 years, I would say, maybe a little, I don't know whether that's a right advice or not, but I'm thinking that's what I used to do. After 2 years, I get bored.
I think you are in the position to give us that.
Honestly, that's something that I want to hear, since we're just starting in the corporate life, right? So we don't know if we're just blindly going into this, or do we have to explore like other industries in the company, or do we jump companies? Like, what's the time frame between jumping companies? What is the advisable time frame as well? Things like this.
So there is no, I wouldn't say time frame from jumping companies. Let me put it that way, and then say time frame for changing your roles, whether it is inside the organization or outside the organization. So think about this. You have to be uncomfortable with the comfortable. Right? The moment you become comfortable, start thinking. You put a chit in your cupboard or wherever it is. The day you feel that I'm very comfortable going for my job 9 to 6, what will be the time, very comfortable, chill, weekends are good, I'm spending enough time, family, and you're feeling very, very, very comfortable, start feeling uncomfortable, right? Just remind yourself, start being uncomfortable. And then the next step for you is to have a vision for future. Right? So, for example, one of the things that as you grow, you should be thinking about is networking, right? And again, it's from my failure, where I was too busy. There were times where I was extremely busy at work for 10, 15 hours in a day, and then, passionate about it, go with that. But in that process, what I missed was the external connects that I could have had. I didn't spend time. I spent 33%, that's it. That became my 100% with work, with the colleagues that I have. I missed the other 66%, I didn't spend time at all. That was a big mistake, right? So in that process, what I learned was, I missed learning a lot of things. Then I was not up to date with the industry, I was not up to date with the market, and I had to literally do a lot of catch up to kind of get where I want to be. So very simple, right? As I said, keep networking, keep talking to people,
and stay updated.
Yeah,
I think that pretty much covers our questioning line in terms of what we wanted to know and what we wanted to hear. But is there something you want to share from your experience, or something you would advise the viewers, or something advice to us as well in terms of?
One thing that I would leave all of you with would be just the education that we did, maybe not because of the passion that you all might have, right? It could be because of a situation, it could be because of, BCom is the option that I had, or that's an easy way for me to get a graduate degree, which is fine. Nothing wrong in that, honestly. That's okay, right? It's okay to have that. But now, this is a time for all of you, especially people who are just graduating and getting out, to think a little more deeper about what is that will get you going today, right? Next few years, it's okay. Think about the next few years. We can think about what will be your passion after 50, you can think about it later, right? But right now, for the next few years, what could be your passion? Think about that. Work towards that, right? And then, as I said, it will not happen overnight. So for example, when I was part of IBM, I definitely wanted to become a GCC leader like the role that I'm doing. And it took me almost 2 years of preparation to get there. Right? It was not easy for me. I prepared, and then when finally things landed up, just got it. So we'll have to spend time to get there. There is no instant gratification in passion, at least. It will take time. Not just because something is wrong with any one of you. It's just that it is a natural process which takes time. So have patience, a lot of patience, work towards that, have milestones, work towards that, and then close in on your passion. Rest of the things will fall in place once you have the passion identified, and then you want to work towards it.
I think our viewers learnt a lot from the session we've had, and personally I've been moved, and a lot of perspectives, a lot of things which were there but we don't look into it deep enough is something which we learned from you, and that was truly amazing. And I love how you've kept it very simple and you've not tried to make it like very complex, because normally we'd expected something a little more complex coming into the whole interview, a bit of it, looking at the role and the responsibilities, and you've kept it very simple, and the way you've led your career and the choices you've made has also been very simple and passion driven. So that's amazing, and we've personally learnt a lot from that. Thank you so much.
Hope I didn't disappoint all of you.
No.
Definitely complex jargons or
No.
very
No, I think you've made it very easy for us to understand and sort of learn from your whole experiences. We have truly benefited. So thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.